Hello. Today I would like to review a Terrans game I've played recently. I decided to pick this game because it's a little bit not a standard one. There is a slight variations of the standard Terran games you would expect, but also it is really interesting on the setup stage. On the setup stage we would be able to pick like different variations and different strategies. And I would like to talk about that and discuss like what did I pick, why did I pick that, and what were the other possible options. Obviously we will start here from the options which I didn't pick, and then we will switch to the game to see how the game unfolded and how did I play it. We are playing against Baltax and Firax. The order is first Baltax, then Firax, then Terrans. It's really important for the first round. We have structures and federations final scorings, and those are the round scorings. This is our boosters, really rich amount of different boosters. So we have terraform, we have tokens, we have Gaia planets, QIC, labs, and big buildings. And let's also see the board, the technologies board. And let's try to decide, let's try to discuss who might pick what, who will win what, and why. So Baltax definitely is going to contest top of Gaia and 2VP from Green Planet. But also Baltac can contest top of Terra and sectors. At the same time, Baltac could also contest top of knowledge and 5VP from Federation. Let's think about best codes. No best codes, Firax. So Firax is not going to... I'm pretty sure that in this game Firax is not going to contest Gaia because we already have 2 Gaia forming fractions. However, Firax might contest Terra, terraforming track, and QIC track, knowledge track. So what does it leave us as a Terran with? I'm not sure why it's not copied properly. So as the Terrans, we can try to contest Gaia track. It will be tricky. It will be really tricky when you already have Baltac sitting at the top of Gaia track. So I'm not sure that it... In theory, like if Baltax cannot build to Federation earlier, then as a Terran you might be able to pick one of those two. That might be an option. As a Terrans, you definitely don't want to contest terraforming track, but we can still contest knowledge track because there are points here. So it feels that looks like everyone has like 2 options here where they can take points. So more or less equal, I would say. What I don't like here in the Terrans game, I don't like the placing of the 2 important techs which usually Terrans pick. They boost us on the tracks which we don't really get points from. So 3VP per Gaia moves us on the economy track, and as a Terrans there is nothing here, same as charge 4 on QIC track. QIC track is a little bit better. In theory, like you might be able to get some QIC actions in the end of the game. But again, it might be a little bit tricky because Baltax is always available, like to pick one of the QIC actions. And if Firax manages to get QIC in the round 5, which is usually the normal scenario, then Firax will be able to contest this as well. And depending on the turnout, etc., might be tricky to get some. So because of those 2 tags, I feel that Terrans has a little disadvantage compared to other fractions. Actually, because we are talking about Terrans, I think we can immediately place first 2 mines from Baltax and Firax and see what possibilities we have as a Terrans. So Baltax took top left corner. This is an obvious space for Baltax, as Baltax is going the first player, so they can secure this Gaia planet from the Firax if Firax decides to contest it, and they have like nice jump to the orange planet. They have unstable planet, so a perfect spot for Baltax. Firax on the other way. So because they are not the first player, they cannot get this. They can't get this green planet, unfortunately. Baltax is going to do it first. So if Firax is placing here, there is not much options how you progress from it. If Firax decides to go Gaia forming, then there is a threat that Baltax will take this green planet, then Baltax will take this orange planet, and in the end they will place their mine on this Gaia forming unstable planets, and Firax is fully blocked. And to be able to run away from it, I mean, you would need to spend QIC, you would need to jump away, etc, etc. So that's why this spot is not really ideal for Firax, but there are not too many nice spots for Firax, so Firax decided to place at the top left corner. In theory, it's not that bad. With navigation 1, we can progress like on our planet, yeah, after terraforming yellow 1. And if we have a neighbor, then we will get charges, etc, etc. So that was the reasoning of the Firax player. And now we need to decide as a Terrans player how are we going to play this game and what are we going to focus on in this game. So I can see two possible setups at the start of the game. One would be something like that. So we are given cheap trading. We are given like a spot for Firax cheap upgrades at the top left corner. Because we would like to build one more mine, we will also start like at the top right corner with immediate access to the green planet. That's one of the options. So, and we will end up with something like that in the first round, and this mine will be upgraded either to a trading station or maybe to the either to the laboratory or maybe to the Planetary Institute. The other possible option I see would be to place your mine something like that and to terraform white planet in the first round, taking the terraforming booster. Let's first discuss that setup and what booster are we taking and what might be the possible problems with it. And also let's try to think where will be the other mines placed by the players. I think that so for Baltax it doesn't make sense to place mine here or there, yeah, like completely doesn't make sense. So for Baltax the mine will be placed either here, which is like not the nicest spot I would say, because you cannot really progress from it, either in the bottom center sector. And this spot is fantastic because Baltax can follow up with something like that, taking lots of planets with just one jump. So like, and from here progress even further, like to the other unstable and green planets. So I think I'm pretty sure that as a Baltax, Baltax will place their mine here. And as a Firax, I think that it's wise to place it here as well, because other spots are not really better. We discussed why don't we want to put our mine in the top left corner. Bottom corner isn't really good, yeah, because we can access this planet with a navigation 2 quite easily. This spot, I would say it it would be good if we could play Gaia form in Baltax in this game, which is unfortunately not possible. So it leaves us only with that spot. Yeah, and I think the decision of those two places, so it doesn't really affect like what Terrans is doing. In theory, if Firax will place here, then it might lure the Baltax player to place here, to have one cheap trading station. But I don't think, no, actually it doesn't, it is not doing even that, because in that scenario Baltax just can jump to the green planet, get in theory, if the QIC will be still available. Okay, I think there is a possibility how you can try to lure Baltax player in this spot, but even if I would be playing Baltax, I wouldn't place it even in scenario when I don't have cheap upgrades. I think it will be better just to start with the right academy, which fixes your problem with the credits, and you can progress from here, because this spot is much better, much better. So yeah, let's remove those and let's go back to the Terrans discussion. So first scenario, we decided to place mines like that. Okay, let's assume that Firax and Baltax placed it here, because it complicates the Terrans game, and we would like to be prepared for the worst possible scenario. So if we are placing mines like that, then we need to decide like what will be the token that we are picking. And I think we can take either 2 tokens, either charge 4 with the big buildings. The rest of the tokens are not really interesting to us, except maybe QIC. Okay, looks like there is lots of possibilities here what we can do with this setup, but first we need to discuss, do we want to build a laboratory or planetary institute in this setup? Let's say we decided that we want to build a PI. Yes, so we would end with something like let me find the Terrans PI. So let's say we will end with the PI at the top left corner, close to the Firax. And with a mine on the green planet. In that scenario, like if we are taking the big buildings booster, then we will score 4 points after building planetary institute. We can place a Gaia former on the unstable planet in the first round. What's happening? Yeah, we can place a Gaia former on the unstable planet. And we will have questions like where would we place next Gaia former. So we will really struggle without navigation in this game. So we will be forced to go up on the navigation track. Hopefully we will be able to buy like additional knowledge, if that helps to us. Or maybe in the next round we can follow up with the laboratory if we will have enough resources. So I think that's more or less playable. The only question, like after building laboratory, we will have to pick something, one of the techs which doesn't boost us on the proper tracks. So yeah, I mean we still have questions how to play it, but I think in theory it's playable, and after that we can progress on the knowledge track, on the science track. and we can try to contest federations with that setup. But if we will take this booster but there is a problem, yeah? If we are going to build a PI and we are taking the big buildings booster, and then Baltax and Firax will decide to start making trading stations away from us, then all of our power will be stuck in the Ball 2, and we will not really utilize this charge for effect from this booster. So that's a problem, but it can be fixed if you will take the 2 tokens instead of big buildings, and you will place Gaia Former immediately, so you will have power in your Ball 2, and in the next round you can start already buying something from the table. You will have, like, even without charges from the Firax player. So I think with the PI it's possible to open, but you would need to take this booster instead of big buildings. Another option which we can do in a similar way, but instead of PI we can build, for example, laboratory in the same spot. We can take 3 VP from Gaia Planet, so that will move us a little bit on the Ica track, and we can immediately start scoring points from the Gaia Planet. We will have at least 5 Gaia Formers in this game, yeah, from the round 2 till the round 6 placed, and we probably will also take 1 or 2 green planets. So in theory it's about 18 to 21 points from this stack, which is good, yeah, not a big deal. And like there is still a problem with the navigation. We would need to boost navigation a little bit. So in the end we will have to do something like that somehow. I don't know how, but depends on the game, how it unfolds. But in theory that's possible, yeah, because in the first round we have 1 step on the eco, 1 step of the navigation, and if we will be able to buy 2 knowledge from the board, then in the second round we can have a second step, and we can progress just by placing 2 mines and having access to another unstable planet, then to the blue one. So I think that's a valid opening, and it is playable like that. I don't really see big issues with that. The only issue which I see, we have a step in the wrong direction. We have a step on the economy track, so there is a risk that we will not be able to contest knowledge track anymore. And because we are not taking the knowledge income, yeah, we are taking immediately, we are getting like points. I think there is a big risk that this stack is not ours anymore. If we will play it like that, I would try to focus on contesting the Gaia track and like to see what we can take from the Baltax, what Baltax could leave to us. And yeah, we've discussed those 2, but also we have this opening, and that's what I picked. And let's see in the game how did it end up. So let's see what I did. I placed 1 mine in the bottom center sector and another one in the top right. So top right is an obvious choice. It gives to us access to 5 planets with the navigation too. And we will have, like, at some point of time Baltax will take this orange planet, so we will be able to get like 2 cheap trading stations, which is really important. So we definitely want to place here. Let's see what Firax and Baltax are doing. They placed as we discussed. Now it's time to choose the booster. We have the terraforming booster, and we have like points for terraforming, and we don't have a cheap upgrade, so we are definitely picking the terraforming booster. And the other players, Firax took QIC and Baltax took big buildings. And let's see what's happening next. So they immediately started upgrades. That totally makes sense. I've built a mine to get access to the cheap trading station. So Baltax bought 2 ore from the board, and having like this booster, it feels that Baltax want to build a big building in the first round. Firax going up on the economy, and I'm starting to build a trading station. Everybody takes power as usual. Baltax went up on the terraforming track, so now Baltax has enough resources to build an academy, yeah, like 3 plus 6 ore. So Firax wants to build a mine and finish with the laboratory with 2 mines, so Firax decided to terraform. And we obviously are taking charges. Now we are building laboratory. Everybody is charging. Now we need to decide how we're going to play this game. And I've decided that I would like to try something unusual. I don't want to take 3 VP per guy or charge for technologies. I think it might be playable like that, but if I would want to take this tech, I would definitely start it in a different way. I would place a mine here and there, as we discussed earlier. So I definitely don't want to pick this token. I also don't want to pick this token. I want to have navigation 2, because navigation 2 gives access for me for lots of planets, and I can build a really strong economy. And I would like to see how many points we will be able to score like that in a little bit like in standard way when you're playing Terrans. And if I'm going to build many structures, then I would like to try to contest this tech. For that, I need to have lots of knowledge, as more knowledge as possible. So I've decided to take a knowledge tech and have a step like on the navigation. I'm still getting charges, which is good, and that's what was expected. Firax build the mine, build the laboratory. Let's see what will be the tech that Firax has taken. Firax took knowledge tech to have an income of for knowledge, which is also really helpful for them. We are going up on the navigation, so our plan is to place Gaia Former here and build like mines in the next round. So we've got enough charges to buy something from the table. And now we will need to decide like what do we want to buy. Firax finished his round taking additional tokens. As a Terrans, and when you're starting with many mines, yeah, you usually have a shortage of coins and without API. So that's a standard way of solving this problem. So I've bought coins. And Baltax made a jump. Now we can place a Gaia former. And Baltax took a QIC. So now it's time to decide what do we want to take. We are not going to build an academy OPI in the next round. We don't have issues with the coins at the moment, so we have 15 at the start of the round. So this is also not a fantastic booster to us. But this one is good, as we will score a little bit of points and we will be able to make a step in the right direction on the knowledge track. So we are definitely taking laboratories here, booster. That's what I've done. So let's see what other players are doing. Firax went up on the Ika. And Baltax is going up on the Gaia track. So now it's our turn. We are just building mines. Ore has been bought from the table. Baltax. Now it's important to see like what tax is going Baltac to take. And Baltac took 3 VP per Gaia planet, which is totally makes sense as a Baltax player. You don't really have a problem with unstable planets and with the green planets. You can just continue placing your mines and scoring points, and later you can rescore points from the Gaia track. Totally makes sense. And we are just building mines here, so nothing fancy. One more mine. We are taking charges. Coins have been bought. We are still building mines. And now we have 4 power in the bowl 3. Now even 5. So I think now it's time to make a step on the knowledge track. This will give to us wheat for knowledge income. And we are getting even more charges. So now, yeah, let's see what's happening. So we are fully charged, which is really good. So now that's another point. What we can do. So from the board, we would be happy to buy something like terraforming. For example, we could terraform this red planet. Unfortunately, terraforming 1 have been bought by Baltax, so we cannot do that. Actually, I think we could do it like in the previous round. Yeah, instead of making a step of the knowledge, we could terraform this red planet, getting access to another unstable planet. So that was a possibility. However, at that point of time, I already had something in my mind. So I've decided that it will be too much for Baltax if I will leave everything to them as is. So if Baltax will be able to take this cluster, then this cluster fully taken by Baltax. I thought that this is a biggest threat, and I will be definitely playing. I will not be able to contest Baltax anymore. Baltax will win this game for sure. So I've decided that I need to make the game of Baltax a little bit more difficult. And I have just 1 ore. So I've decided to take this green planet. And yeah, so now Baltax will be forced to think how they can access this sector and how they can progress. So now, yeah, now they both finished their round. Now I need to place a Gaia former. I can place it, so I can place it either here, here, or here. Yeah, like 3 possible spots, or even 4. I think I made a mistake. So I've decided to place it here, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't think that was the right placing. I think the right placing would be to place it here. Instead, as we can take QIC from the booster. So in the next round we could just take this unstable planet, this green planet, and get access to the last cluster of the blue and unstable planet. And also I don't see a big problem allowing Baltax to take this unstable planet, because I would still have access to that one planet. So I think that was a mistake, minor one, but it was a mistake. And also we are playing without 3VP per Gaia, so from other point of view that's not really important planet, but I would like to take it not because of the points, but because it gives access to the other nice planets to me. So made a mistake, and let's see what booster I'm taking. And I took the QIC. The 2 rest were tokens and coins. I'm more or less good on the credits, on the coins, and I don't really need tokens at the moment, so just getting more resources seems alright. So let's see what happens next. And in the second round I have laboratory and 6 mines, so that's a really good income from my point of view. So we could try to think about competing for those 2 final scorings, especially if we will be able to get the top of navigation with the lost planet. That also might help for us to build more federations. So at that point of time I've decided that I would like to compete for the final scorings, and that was my plan actually. So we are getting charges. I don't really remember what I did in this round, but here I saw that Baltax made a step. Yeah, also, yeah, now I remember. So I was afraid that Baltax will go up on the science track and will compete with me on that tech. When I saw that, also was a reason why I've decided to take this green planet. Without terraforming for Baltax cannot access this area. Or Baltax can, but it will be really costly, and it will cost like 3 QIC to jump here, which is quite a lot. So I was hoping that after taking these 2 planets, I will force Baltax to go up on the terraforming track, leaving science track empty for me and without competition. And also, yeah, now I remember why I took this planet. I took it just in case, so I can build a federation as early as possible with as little tokens wasted as possible, to be able to say to other players who will try to contest me on the knowledge track that they will not get much points from it, because I will take this stack and they will just waste their knowledge to go up on the science track. So when I've seen that Baltax is going on the terraforming track, I was quite happy about that. As a first action, Firax built a laboratory and went up on navigation. That's, by the way, that's a threat to this green planet, and I cannot protect it anymore, unfortunately. So I've decided to take a terraform, continue with the mine building to get a strong economy, to be able to build as much federations as possible. The other option was to jump on this green planet, converting power tokens to a QIC. So it will give access to me to another unstable planet. So, but that would actually, yeah, so that was a possibility, but that would deboost Firax player. So right now I feel that Baltax is the biggest threat in this game, and if Baltax will be able to take top of Terra, then they will probably win. So in my interest would be to boost Firax somehow, so Firax can contest top of Terra. For that, Firax definitely need a federation, and if I will cut off Firax here, then it will be... Actually, you know, maybe if I did cut off Firax here, that would be even better, because it would force Firax to terraform this yellow planet, build a federation, but without going up on the navigation. Instead, Firax, like, if Firax would see that I have a Gaia former here, then Firax will understand that they will have to spend 2 QIC in this round to protect this green planet. So maybe it was even better if I would place the Gaia former. Yeah, I think that Gaia former in the previous round was really costed to me a lot, and it would push Firax to compete with Baltax more instead. But yeah, it happened what happened. So I terraformed red planet. Charge, I'm getting charges, and Baltax is going up on the terraforming track, and I'm just going up on the knowledge track. I'm protecting my points in the science track. So Firax just building a couple of mines, and what I'm doing, I've built a trading station. Firax put knowledge. And we got charges from the Baltax player. Also, by the way, because I forced Baltax to go up on the terraforming track, as a bonus I will get additional charges here from the brown planet and from the unstable planet, which is really good to me. So what are we doing? We've built a mine. Now we have just one free mine. Trading station. I see now. So because there is a round with the trading stations, that's why I've decided to build a couple of trading stations to score some points. As I'm not scoring points from building on the Gaia planets, I have to focus on the round boosters and on the final scorings and on the attack. That's the only point I'm getting in this game. And maybe, hopefully, I will be able to get something from the QIC, but I'm not really sure. And I'm getting lots of charges, which is really nice. But the only problem, it's unclear what I'm doing with those at the moment. I've decided to buy tokens from the table. I think it makes sense or not. Not sure why I did that. I would definitely want, yeah, I definitely would be more happier to buy something else from the table. But that helps with building federation, so more or less okay. It feels that Firax is quite far away on the terraforming track, so I don't know. Firax probably cannot stop Baltax anymore, if Baltax really decides to do that, unfortunately. And yeah, we will see it in the next round. So I think, yeah, like Gaia Former here and taking this green planet would force Firax to go faster on the terraforming track. But that was unclear, and it wasn't a big deal because probably Baltax would take just one of those planets, and probably the right one, because it gives access to another green planet. So this unstable planet wasn't under threat. So Baltax took tokens, additional tokens, and it's time for me to place Gaia Former. Two possible options. I've decided that I would like to place it here, so I have an access to the white planet and then to the green planet. Yeah, that was my reasoning behind. And now it's time to pick a booster. So let's see, what do we have? In the next round, we have mines. Yeah, let's just see what did I pick. I picked laboratory. Yeah, I think I've decided that laboratory can score to me like 6 points. I can build a laboratory in the next round. So 6 points, plus I would try to build a couple mines. Ideally, as much mines as possible, I would say. So after building laboratory, we have 3 ore left, which leaves us with 2 mines. But in theory, we can form a federation. No, we don't want to do that at the moment. Yeah, let's see what Firax is doing. Unfortunately, Firax took this white planet from me. So again, like those were the big mistake. But not really obvious mistake. I mean, it wasn't really clear at that point of time, and I understood it only after reviewing this game. Firax is going up on the navigation, so Firax understood that he cannot really compete on the terraforming track and decided to find something else. And looks like Firax is interested in that advanced tech, which will help Firax to compete for the final scorings. So let's see what's happening in the next round. Baltax is building laboratory, and Baltax is getting the big building stack. So Baltax can form a federation here, take top of Terra, and be happy about that. So what are we doing? What I was the most afraid of at that point of time, I felt that Baltax, if Baltax really wanted, they could compete for that unstable planet. So I felt a threat here, but it wasn't like really a problem because I would still have another unstable planet here, and we just need 2. So this is definitely our unstable planet, and one of those 2 is also ours, so not a big deal. And if Baltax is taking that planet, then it's still fine for me, because I would get a cheap trading station here, which is okay. So then that's why I'm going up on the knowledge track and also charging. So now we are fully charged, and it will be time to think how we are going to spend our charges. I've decided to terraform this planet, which gives access to me for another blue planet. And in this round we are getting points for building mines, so we would like to build as many as possible. Also, I need to notice that in this game Terrans had lots of charges from everyone, so I was quite lucky with the setup and with the way how the planets are placed on the board. So I'm getting charges from both Baltax and Firax, and they don't really connect anywhere without me. So I took coins, and I think as the next step I will take ore, just because I'm competing for the structures. Yeah, now I have lots of resources. That's enough to build 2 mines, I think. 2 mines, trading station and laboratory. Yes, that's enough. Not sure that I should take in that charge, but whatever. So this is the first mine. After that I would need to place a Gaia former to start charging from bowl 2. So I think that charge I will skip. Yeah, I'm skipping it. Firax is going up on the terraforming. Now I'm placing now Baltax took top of Terra. Now I'm placing a Gaia former, so I can start charging if there will be such a possibility. I've built laboratory. Let's see what tech I'm going to pick. Because it's round 4, we are not really interested with the income tax anymore. Non-income tax, there are not so many. So yeah, let's see, what did I pick? I think I picked the big buildings, but I'm not sure. No, I took 1 or 1 QIC. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Actually, why that makes sense? I was able to charge. Oh, I think, yeah, I understand why. So big buildings, yeah, first of all, at that point of time I've decided that I would like to build 4 federations, just because I have like really strong economy and it shouldn't be a big deal. So big buildings, I would definitely pick them to build 4 federations. With big buildings, for me it would be possible to push me up on the knowledge track. I don't really need this additional ore. So I'm not really utilizing it from at this round, but I would be 1 step shorter on the navigation, and with the current setup in the next round I can immediately go up 2 steps on the navigation. I think that was my reasoning. But now it feels that big buildings were a better option. big buildings and going up on the knowledge. Because I'm not really using additional resources. Or am I? Let's see. So we've built a trading station. Now we are building a mine. Actually, how many planet types do we have? We have 4 planet types. So in theory, we can score 7 points by the QIC. I decided not to do that. Looks like I decided to take... Yeah, we don't have points on the table, but QIC... this will allow me to either copy a federation after building it, either I will have to take 2 QIC tokens. So let's see what's happening next. Yeah, Firax was short on coins. Baltax just going up on the QIC. That totally makes sense. As a Baltax player, you already have Terra, you have Gaia, you don't need to push science anymore, just score points from QIC or get like more green planets to rescore them later. So in the end, I've decided to take 7 points. So I could do it in the previous round. That would make my round a little bit... That would make this round shorter for me. Yeah, okay, I think I've just decided that I'm going to take it. So we are getting charges. Academy. So in this round we have a big buildings round. I've decided that I would like to build 2 big buildings in this round. So I wanted to build an academy and a planetary institute. Planetary institute will help me with the resources just in case I'm still short on the 4 federations. And academy, with academy I just took the big buildings. So it seems that yeah, I could take big buildings in the previous round, going up on the knowledge, and in this round I could take 1 or 1 QIC. It would give me additional knowledge in case if I would need it, but yeah, I didn't do it. So now with the big buildings, those 3 mines, they will not have upgrades, they will not have cheap trading stations, so we can form a federation here easily, spending just 2 tokens. So big buildings is really handy for if we want to build an academy here. So I've charged in QIC. And now I'm forming a federation. I've took an ore federation. I guess that's okay. We need ore to build... Oh, actually, we would need to build PI plus trading station plus mine. So we are a bit short on resources. That's why we took ore. Baltax decided to take the 3 QIC action. That's very unfortunate. I wanted to do it by myself, but what can we do? So I've took a Lost Planet. Lost Planet helps me competing for the final scorings, and it will help me to form a federation here. I've took those charges. So I've built a trading station. Now I need to build mine and planetary institute so I can build another federation to get more resources. Everyone is building federations. I'm taking all of the charges. I'm quite happy with the charges. So that's a mine, and we have enough resources for PI. That's a PI. So that round was pretty good for me. Now I just need to place a Gaia former, and I would need to think what should I do with the QIC leftovers. So I've placed a Gaia former. And unfortunately, I'm the last player, so I will not be able to get the QIC action from the table. But I will be able to take a big buildings booster, and I will be able to score some points from it. Oh, yeah, I remember now. So between those two boosters, one is 7 points from green planets, and another one is 12 points from big structures. So in this round we have trading stations. I've decided, yeah, we have points from trading stations, so I've decided that for me it's better to build laboratories instead of the academy. Also, if I would be planning to build an academy, then I would probably be using that academy to form a federation. That means that I won't be able to score 20 points from the federations. That was one of the reasoning, and the other point for me was is that because if I'm going to build an academy, then it means that I will probably connect less structures in the federations. While Firax is still a threat, even though Firax didn't take this tech from the navigation, Firax could still take the sectors from the QIC, and Firax will have lots of resources in this final round, and he might try to compete with me. So that's why I decided that it's better just to take this tech to score 20 points from federations, but to get like a little bit less on the booster tile points. So yeah, and also the last point was that I wouldn't be able to utilize this charge for power. So taking all that into account, I decided that it's better to take green planets. So I've converted everything to coins. If I would see that I have a possibility of getting the 3 QIC action, I would definitely get additional QIC instead, but unfortunately that wasn't possible. And those two players, they are getting QIC actions immediately. So I've built a trading station, now I can form a federation. I decided that I don't need those charges anymore. I have enough to build everything I want. So I formed a federation. I took ore because I have enough coins. That's expected. I'm still getting charges. The problem, I could take those, but I couldn't really convert those back into points. So wasting charges. 3 to 4 doesn't make sense. I took 1 for 2, just in case. That's a better, I would say, that's a better deal. And I think I will, yeah, I took this 1 for 2. Later we will see if I took any additional charges in the last round or not. So I've took ore. I'm not taking other charges. Yeah, and I decided to terraform this planet as I'm competing for the structures. I'm not getting any other charges. So I formed another green federation, and I need this green federation because I can take top of knowledge and federations from science track. So to connect these 4 structures I need 7 tokens. I have 6, which is enough. I've built first mine. I definitely want to take 7 points. I'm doing that. And I'm preparing my last federation. So for the last federation we definitely can take 12 points because we don't have options how to use the last green federation. So I've took top of science track. By doing that I can get like 3 steps. I can charge a little bit. So by doing that I actually was able to get at least 1 additional coin instead of forming federation first. So that makes sense. And also in theory if I will get free charge somewhere, but I don't think there are such spots. No, actually there is such a spot, for example here or here, yeah. So in theory I can get even like more coins, in theory. In fact, I don't think I will. That's not a free charge, unfortunately. but we are not in a hurry. Interesting, for some reason I've decided that it's time to form a federation. Ah, yeah, I see now. So, because by building laboratory, I would anyway have to push one track, and I will have to push terraforming. My knowledge will not be used, and will be useless. So that's why I took 12 points federation. By doing that, I would be able to keep my knowledge and not waste it. That's 1 point. Not too bad. So now we are building laboratory. And now we just need to count. Now we just need to count, is it possible for Firax to compete with us on the final mission? So Firax will have to build 2 structures. We can add 1 more structure, but I think for Firax it is not possible to build those 2 structures. They can only add 1 structure here on the orange planet, and even if they somehow will be possible to add another structure, it wouldn't be counted for the structures in Federation. But in fact, they don't have Green Federation, so they placed all of them. All of their federations has been already used. And to build on the orange planet, Firax will have to spend 4 ore, leaving Firax with just a single ore. So that's not a threat, and we can just finish this game without adding this mine, because it will be just a waste of resources, so it will be -1 point. So just finishing this game. So it seems I have lots of resources in the end, and those charges, 1 for 2, so looks like I lost about 2 points in the last round, and I didn't really need to do that. But yeah, I mean, looks like I didn't count at that point of time, and it was hard for me to count, so I just took them. So and that's it. What we have in the end. First of all, so we took the 2nd place. We are quite far away from Baltax, and that's understandable. After Baltax took top of Terra, I was thinking that right now it will be quite hard to compete with Baltax. We won on the final scorings. We took 20 points from federations, which is quite good. Looks like we wasted few points on the charges in the last round, but that didn't decide anything. But the fun part, we were able to play Terrans. We were able to score nice points without taking 3 VP from Gaia, and without taking charge for action. So just by round scorings, boosters, and knowledge plus tech in science track. What could we do better? I think the most important problem which I see was in the round 2, when I've placed Gaia Former here. If we would place a Gaia Former here, in theory there is a chance that would push Firax to compete with Baltax on the terraforming track. And hopefully if Firax is taking top of Terra, it would give like more points to Firax. It will take some points back from Baltax, And also it will simplify life for me, because I will have access to another unstable planet plus blue planet. Probably this planet would be already lost by me, because Firax with Terra would terraform it, but still I think it was a better option. Could we do something else differently? Of course, I think we could, but it would be completely different game, and it's hard to estimate how many points would we get. This tech gave to me 20 points. If I would start with the 3VP per Gaia, it would be roughly same 20 points, but somebody else will take that, and there is a possibility that I wouldn't be able to compete for the final scorings. Or maybe I still could. So it would be a completely different game, and it's hard to say how, like, who would win, why, and what will be the final points. I hope you enjoyed this game, because when I played it, I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. It was not a standard Terrans, so hopefully you also liked it. And let me know, what do you think? How would you play this game and why? Thank you.